Greetings, yoga friends. I'm Rebecca, and welcome to this sequence designed to build confidence. We'll be rooting down through our foundations and using warrior poses to bring confidence into the body. You won't need any props for this practice, so take a moment, make your space more comfortable, put on some music that you like, maybe grab some water, and I'll see you on the mat. We'll start today in Sukhasana. So find your way to your comfortable seat on the mat. And allow yourself to take a deep breath. Maybe the deepest breath you've taken all day. As you exhale, allow your shoulders to melt down your back and relax away from your ears. Allow your elbows to become heavy and sink down towards the floor. Tuck your chin slightly, allowing the back of your neck to lengthen. Allow your belly to soften and your breath to be received in this softening belly. And take just a couple of deep breaths here, making that ujjayi breath sound, that breath you can hear in the back of your throat like you're fogging up a mirror. Good. Now allow your eyelids to flutter open if you've had them closed. And we'll reach under and pull the flesh away from the sits bones so that we can really feel where we're rooted to the earth. And then bringing one heel in quite close, we're going to bring the other heel into the shin so that the legs are not stacked on top of each other here. And from here, we'll inhale the arms up overhead, reaching up through the fingertips as we ground down through the hips. And we'll exhale, allowing the fingertips to rain down and come to rest in front of us on the mat. Rolling the shoulders onto the back, we'll begin to walk the fingertips out, any amount. So just allow yourself to take a journey here. A journey into your own body. Maybe wiggling from side to side slightly as you snuggle down. Allowing yourself to sink forward from the center of the chest. And then when you've found your way down to your version of this shape, just allow yourself a moment to find some ease here. Feeling some sensation in the outside of the leg that's in front. A couple of deep breaths. And as we're inhaling, we'll begin walking the fingertips back toward the body. Coming back up to seated, stacking the shoulders over the pelvis, and then changing the direction of the legs. Bringing the leg that was behind into the front. And then once again, inhaling the arms up overhead, lengthening out through those fingertips, grounding down through the hips, Exhaling, fingers raining down. Rolling the shoulders onto the back, and then beginning this journey forward. Coming forward any amount. Remembering that our practice is not to invite pain, but to invite a sensation of stretch, sometimes deep stretch. In this case, into the outer hip. Find your way into some ease, into some stillness here for 2 breaths. And then we'll walk the fingertips back into the body. And use the hands to help us close our knees, shifting our legs to one side. We'll come into tabletop. So once you've joined me here in tabletop, stacking the wrists right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips, we'll begin some cat-cow here. So inhaling as you drop the belly, rotating the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding the tailbone under, pressing away from the mat. Moving through this motion with your own breath, waking up the spine just a little. Remember, you can always find some of your own natural movement here. Maybe bringing your torso into a barrel roll, or shifting your gaze and your hips over to one side and then the other. So invite yourself to find what works for you here. And we'll bring this to stillness, back to tabletop. And walking our hands, a couple of handprints out in front, turning the toes under and the back, and moving the hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees nice and bent here, really allowing the spine to stretch out and become nice and long. Inhaling here, and then as we're exhaling, beginning to deepen into one heel and then the other. Finding your breath as you move, syncing up the movement with the breath. And then inhaling up to the toes. We'll exhale, bending the knees deeply, bringing the top of the belly to the tops of the thighs. Exhaling, heels sink down towards the mat. Once again, inhaling up to the toes. Exhaling, belly comes to the top of the thighs. Inhale here. Exhale, allowing the heels to melt down towards the mat. And then once again, bending the knees deeply. We'll shift the gaze forward this time and come up to meet at the top of the mat and forward fold. Inhaling up halfway here to find a nice long length in the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Deep breath here, exhaling, allowing the crown of the head to relax down towards the floor. And then inhaling up to stand with a flat back. Hands come to meet overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Perhaps take a moment here to press the thumbs into the chest, feeling the heartbeat. Taking just a moment to receive. Receiving in whatever it is you need more of in your life. Inhaling in confidence, exhaling peace. And then we'll allow the fingertips to sweep down towards the floor as we inhale up overhead and then exhale, coming down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale, releasing into the fold. Planting both hands here, we'll step back to plank or half plank, and you can come straight to downward dog here, or if you like, you can come through a vinyasa, hugging the elbows into the side body, lowering down slowly, chaturanga. Tops of the feet come to the floor, inhaling up, baby cobra. Exhale, release, rolling the toes under, pressing up through plank or half plank, and back, downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog now, we'll inhale the right leg forward, bringing the leg in between the hands, and bringing the left foot forward slightly, stacking the knee over the ankle. We'll inhale the arms up, coming into warrior one. So there's no rule book here that says you have to come straight up to warrior one with perfect form, as if there is even such a thing. So take a moment here to square your hips, perhaps change the angle of your feet. Check in with that back foot, make sure it's at a 45-degree angle. And then deepen that knee right over the ankle in the front. Pressing out nice and strong through the back leg. Feeling the confidence that comes with this pose, this warrior one pose, this pose of protecting ourselves. Nice deep breath here. And then keeping the hands extended overhead or allowing the palms to come to heart center, we'll move here into warrior three. Your version of warrior three. So rolling the shoulders onto the back. As we're exhaling, we'll slowly begin to tilt forward. Bringing the body as close to parallel with the ground as possible. And then really rooting down through that front leg. We'll begin to come up onto the leg, maybe keeping the toe on the ground in the back. Maybe allowing that leg to rise up any amount. Keeping the hip moving down towards the floor. Coming into warrior three. And you lose your balance. That's completely okay. We learn balance by losing balance. And then when you're ready to come out of this pose, slowly allowing that back foot to come back in contact with the floor. And then we're going to take the hands and walk them around this front right leg, and keeping this front foot pointing forward. We'll walk the fingertips around, and we're going to allow that left foot to come out to a 45-degree angle as we begin bending into the left knee, and allowing the right toes to come up from the floor. Planting the hands in front here, you might play with taking that left elbow into the crook of the left knee as we come down into Skandasana, sort of a half squat. Finding your breath. And then on an inhale, we'll begin to rise up from this shape, coming back to frame that front right leg with the hands, planting the hands, and then stepping back, coming into your plank or half plank, and your choice here, going into Vinyasa or taking yourself directly to downward dog. And we'll all meet in downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Good. Now inhaling the left leg forward this time. Left leg comes in between the hands. Walking that back right foot forward slightly, toes turning out, 45-degree angle. Inhaling up. Warrior 1. Rounding down through the feet, pressing the feet apart like we're tearing the mat in half, feeling the power of this pose. Bring the knee right over the ankle. And then when you're ready, getting ready to shift into warrior 3. Arms are extended overhead. Hands come to heart center. Your choice. Nice big deep breath here. And exhaling, finding that tilt. Grounding into the front leg. Coming to the toe in the back, or allowing that leg to begin to rise any amount. Sinking down through the hip, trying to square the hips, lifting with the glute muscles. And then when you're ready, allow that back foot to find the mat. We'll frame this left foot with the hands, and then begin that journey. Left foot staying pointed forward, walking the right toes out to an angle, and then deepening into this Skandasana, half squat. And once you've found your way here, you want to play with bringing some lightness into the hands, or even bringing the hands to heart center. You can welcome that into your practice. And then on an inhale, we'll begin to move out of the shape. Once again, walking the hands back around to frame this left leg, planting both hands, and finding your way home to your down dog. And taking a moment here in your down dog, 2 breaths. And then from your downward facing dog, we'll allow the right leg to rise up, opening that right hip up towards the ceiling as we bring that 90-degree angle into the knee, the ankle, just feeling the opening of the hip here. Inhale as we extend that right leg back out long. Exhaling, right foot comes back down to the mat. And then inhaling up through the left heel, we'll bend the left knee, finding our 3-legged dog on the left side. Bringing some attention into the top of the body here, making sure that we're pressing equally into both palms. And now extending that left leg out long. And exhaling that left leg down to the floor. Taking one more nice deep cleansing breath here in our downward dog. Maybe on that exhale, sticking the tongue out and coming in for a lion's breath. Nice big inhale here. And then coming down to the knees, shifting the legs to one side and coming down to the back. Bringing the knees into the chest. We'll roll out through the lower back here for just a moment. And then allowing the soles of the feet to find the floor. We'll bring the right ankle over top of the left thigh here. Taking a nice big inhale. And then as we're exhaling, allowing that left foot to come up from the floor. Maybe you find that interlace of the fingers behind the left thigh, flexing the right foot and the left foot. You can find what you like to do with the left leg here. You're welcome to extend that left leg out long. Keep the knee fully bent, keep the knee bent at an angle that suits you. Whatever allows you to find the level of sensation that you would like to have in the outside of this right thigh. Settling in here for a couple of breaths. And then on our next exhale, we'll allow the left sole of the foot to find the floor, followed by the right. And then bring the right ankle to the top of the left, the left ankle to the top of the right thigh. Inhaling here and exhaling. Finding that interlace of the fingers, flexing the feet. Feeling into your own body and your own experience and where you like to keep that supporting leg. Breathing into the outside of the left thigh. Neck is nice and long and relaxed. And then taking one last deep breath here. As we're exhaling, bringing that right sole of the foot down to the floor. Left sole of the foot to follow. And then we'll heel toe the feet out to the wide edge of the mat. Inhaling the arms open wide. Walking the shoulders up underneath the back. Taking a nice deep breath here. And then as we're exhaling, lowering the knees over to one side, any side. Taking the gaze over the opposite shoulder. And if it feels good here, both for your hip and for your back, you can place one ankle over the top of the opposite knee. Just deepening the stretch, deepening the twist. And if you found that little bind, allow that to be released. Inhaling the knees back up to center. Exhaling as we drop the knees over in the other direction. Taking the gaze over the opposite shoulder. And maybe finding that little bind of the foot on the top of the knee. And allow that little bind to release if you took that. Inhaling the knees back up to neutral. And then bringing the knees into the chest. Roll out through that lower back if you like. If it feels good for you, on your next inhale, you can allow the nose to come up to the knees. And then as you're exhaling, let it all go. Let everything come out. Hands come down to the sides. Feet come out to the corners of your mat. And just allow yourself to sink into the floor here. Feeling the benefits of your practice. Settling into your own experience of the body here. Feeling what it's like to be the occupant inside your fingers and toes. Allowing your jaw to part and relax. Allowing yourself to feel calm and connected. Calm and confident. If you have a little extra time today, feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Or if it's time for you to awaken, you could begin to move your fingers and toes. Maybe stretch yourself out long, like it's your very first morning stretch. And then roll yourself gently to one side, cradling your head and your arm. And then in your own time, pressing yourself up to a seated position, allowing your eyes to be closed or your gaze to be lowered. Coming back up into a seated position, bringing your hands to heart center. I hope this practice today has helped bring some strength and some confidence into your day. I am always so grateful to have you practice with me, and I hope that your yoga will follow you off the mat.